Part 35. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 341. Ren Ran's eyes opened a slit, and after seeing Tang Qin, he continued to close his eyes. In a daze, she felt her body sinking, and a pair of thighs pressed against her. She opened her eyes suddenly and saw Tang Qin's legs reaching her belly button at some point. She carefully moved her legs away and looked around. Those who were complaining that they couldn't sleep before were now fast asleep. Suddenly, her eyes narrowed and fell on Ji Miao. When she looked at him, she closed her eyes. It seems that besides myself, there may be other people with ulterior motives in this room. They don't know if she is someone from this dark organization lurking around them as an undercover agent, or someone from the relevant departments outside, or some other force. It's impossible to confirm now, so Ren Ran doesn't intend to expose himself. He will wait and see what happens before making any plans. Ren Ran didn't dare to sleep too deeply, he was always half asleep and half awake. Suddenly, the door was violently pushed open. The sound made Ren Ran wake up instantly, but she did not open her eyes. Get up, get up. A man roughly pulled up people lying on the ground. Ren Ran opened his eyes at the right moment. I'll give you 5 minutes to solve your personal problems. After 5 minutes, go to the big classroom. 5 minutes later, several women were already waiting in the large classroom. This 100 Days Festival is the company's largest anniversary event. Many important guests of the company will come today. Now your task is to remember the preferences of these people. When the lights dimmed, only the screen glowed in the huge classroom. People wearing tiger masks like to drink tea the most. They don't know what tea is. Without them having to speak, the woman on the podium explained in detail. The man wearing the fox mask is very picky and has a bad temper. If you meet him, be sure not to make him unhappy. If you make him unhappy, you can only serve him black tea to calm the anger. Several people present turned pale after hearing what black tea was. In the dim room, Ren Ran glanced at Ji Miao from the corner of his eye and noticed that she flipped her hair from time to time. Ji Miao seemed to feel someone's eyes on her. She looked around but found no one. The movements in her hands paused, and she did not dare to move rashly again. At noon, the 9 hungry people finally had a hot meal, which was just a very simple bite of rice and a few chopsticks. Some people muttered dissatisfiedly, "How can I be full after eating such a small amount? Yeah. My cats eat more than this. We were not given anything to eat in the morning, and now we are only given this bite. Are we going to starve to death?" Perhaps their noise made the guard dissatisfied, and he banged the stick on the table. It's good to have some. You can still have something to eat now, but you may not be able to eat it tomorrow. Ji Miao asked in horror, "What does this mean?" The man glanced at the 9 people with a hint of malice. "If your performance is good, you will naturally have delicacies from the mountains and seas. You can eat whatever you want. If your performance is not good, or if you offend the distinguished guests, let alone food, I am afraid you will not be able to keep your skin and flesh. Cherish it." The 9 people were so frightened that their faces turned pale. At this moment, the beautiful woman walked into the restaurant and snorted at the guard man, "What are you talking about?" As she said that, she smiled at the frightened little rabbits and said, "Don't be afraid, he is playing with you. The company is a formal company and will never do that kind of thing. No one present is a fool, even if they are fools. After more than 10 hours of repeated mental torture, they all know where this place is." He sneers at what a woman says, but what a man says is the truth. Some people are so scared that they want to cry, but they dare not cry for fear that their eyes will become red and swollen from crying. One is a good person, the other is a bad person, repeatedly intimidating and tormenting their spirits, completely defeating them and becoming marionettes in their hands. The beautiful woman glanced at the food on the plate and said with a smile, "I won't let you eat today, not because you don't want to part with the food, but because the 100 days banquet is coming soon. If you eat too much, you will gain weight easily and will not be able to wear clothes by then. Good-looking clothes will affect the perception of the guests. Leaving a good impression on the guests and looking the most beautiful are the most basic rules for being a tea host. Okay, darlings, take your time and enjoy." The beautiful woman twisted her waist and left. As soon as she walked out of the door, the smile on her face faded. She told the man at the door in a cold voice, "No need to feed them tonight." "Good. There are still classes in the afternoon, and there will be random checks from time to time. If you answer incorrectly 3 times, you will be electrocuted." There was no dinner that night, so a few people dared not speak out. At around 8 o'clock, they were taken to the huge monitoring room again and started studying again. Ren Ran consciously walked to Ji Miao's side, glancing at him from the corner of his eye from time to time. Looking closer, Ren Ran still didn't find anything wrong. Ji Miao looked at her with scrutiny in her eyes. "Do you think someone will come to rescue us?" Ren Ran asked at a volume that only 2 people could hear. Ji Miao shook her head, "I hope so." After studying, they were driven back again. The caretaker saw that they were curious about the rooms in the corridor, and someone smiled and said, "Want to know what's inside?" "Some people think about it but dare not say it." The man gave a bad laugh and said, "You will know later." That smile made several people shudder. Tang Qin and others subconsciously stayed away from those rooms. The next day, the 9 people were hungry in the morning and were allowed to eat a very simple meal at noon. In 1 day and 2 nights, they only ate a little food in total, and everyone was starving. In the afternoon, the 9 people were taken away and brought to a dressing room. A group of people wearing white fox masks selected suitable clothes for them according to their appearance and figure. As night fell, Ren Ran found an opportunity to go to the bathroom and wanted to push the seat in the corner, but found someone there. The person inside heard the noise and came out quickly. As soon as the door opened, the 2 sides looked at each other. Ji Miao glanced at the empty seat next door, and the meaning was obvious. Ren Ran smiled and said, "It's not easy for someone to be here." Ji Miao smiled slightly and said nothing. Suddenly, Ren Ran's feet softened and his body fell on Ji Miao. Ji Miao subconsciously supported her, and Ren Ran naturally held her hand. When they touched, the base of her thumb was very smooth, and her 5 fingers were also smooth, without the calluses described in novels or on TV. "Did I make a wrong judgment?" "Are you okay?" Ji Miao asked with concern. "It's okay. This is the first time I've experienced what it means to be so hungry that my legs are weak." She had a bitter smile on her lips. "Ah, same." Ji Miao sighed. "What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her." Author, Mo Shi Mo Yet. Chapter 342. Ren Ran went in, closed the door, and listened attentively. He heard the footsteps gradually fade away, but he still didn't relax. He sat on the toilet and began to contact the outside world. In the periphery, in order to prevent the other party from receiving the message, the surrounding surveillance was entered through special means. Song Lian brought Xiao Yu to help and monitored in all directions. Another car came. The person who got off was wearing a tiger mask. In less than 10 minutes, a car worth hundreds of thousands of yuan entered their field of vision again. A man wearing a clown mask got off the car. Starting from the evening, every 10 or 20 minutes, cars ranging from hundreds of thousands to millions of yuan would appear and arrive one after another. Without exception, all the people who got off the car were men wearing masks. The sky gradually darkened, and Shen Jingzi looked at Tianji and others from time to time. "Is there any news from Ran Ran?" "No, I have been in contact with the other party, but it is all in an interrupted state." When the clock pointed to 8 o'clock, Tianji said, "There is a signal." Everyone gathered around. Tianji began to write information on the white paper. 9 o'clock, 5th floor, Ji Miao. When Fu Yan saw Ji Miao, tell her that Ji Miao is from the police. The two of them can cooperate. Tianji replied immediately, not daring to delay for a second. Squatting on the toilet, Ren quickly wrote in his hand, surprised. Ji Miao is actually an undercover. Ren admires the police officers who dare to be undercover. Undercovers usually have a life and death experience. No one knows during their lifetime, and they can't have a grand funeral after death. Even so, they have no hesitation. Fu Yan's people hurried in, our people have successfully entered. Shen Jingzi looked at him. We got some information before. It seems that we just happened to meet. Shen Jingzi's deep eyes seemed to see through the essence, but he didn't say it clearly. It just happened to meet. Fu Yan didn't tell the truth. They already had a lot of information about this organization, and even got the list of people involved. But even so, they couldn't arrest them. First of all, the identity of those people is very sensitive. Secondly, they lack solid evidence. Even if they are arrested, they will be released soon. Instead of alerting the enemy, it is better to take it slowly and catch them all after finding evidence. Shen Jingzi looked at Tianji, tell Ran to watch Ji Miao's actions. Tianji immediately sent it over, and the signal was interrupted as soon as the transmission was completed. Sent successfully. At the same time, Ran hurried out. The message just sent from outside only received the two words Ji, seeing. She put the earrings back into her hair and left with the other women. The 9 people were taken to a room together. In the large room, there were more than a dozen women. These people were dressed much cooler than the 9 of them. Each of them was affectionate and numb, and their eyes were indifferent, as if they were lifeless inflatable dolls. In stark contrast to them were Ren and the other 9 people. Each of them had a fresh breath and bright eyes. In the monitoring room, the beautiful woman looked at the two groups of people and said with a smile, new goods are beautiful and fresh. The man standing beside her glanced at the other woman, those people should be replaced. The beautiful woman nodded in agreement, it is indeed time to change. These toys can no longer arouse the guests' desire to conquer and make them feel no fun. This new batch should last for a while, but you still have to keep looking for them. These toys are wearing out faster and faster now. How long have you been hungry this time? In 2 days, I only had 2 meals, and I was only given a little bit, the beautiful woman reported truthfully. The man stared at the 9 girls in the video, too many. The beautiful woman's heart trembled, and she hurriedly said, this time the time is too short, so they look more energetic. Not giving them food is not just to show them power or torture them, but to prepare for the guests. Not letting them eat enough and making them hungry is nothing more than to allow customers to enjoy the desire to conquer and to easily subdue the prey, so that they will not easily escape. They have already studied the fun of playing to perfection, which not only guarantees customer satisfaction but also prevents the prey from getting out of control. Even the clothes they wear are particular. The clothes of the elderly are cool, because there is no need to cover them up, they are all old things. The new ones are different, they are all fresh, and they have to wait for the first batch of guests to peel them off by themselves. In the process of tearing and conquering, they can appreciate their screams and fears, which can stimulate their adrenaline very well. The man glanced at the woman lightly, don't be nervous, just talk casually. Before leaving, the man put his hand on the woman's shoulder, kneading it gently with his palm, come to my room tonight. The woman trembled slightly and gave him a charming smile, okay. In the lounge, Song Yunan was still not seen. It seems that the women in this room are only a part. She sat down next to Ji Miao calmly. As she approached, Ji Miao looked at her warily. Ran smiled at her. Ji Miao moved aside and didn't get close to her. The girls who were taken away before were tied to crosses, Collars were put on them and locked in cages, and some were even dressed as mermaids and placed in water tanks. Here, there are only things you can't think of, but there are no perverted methods that they can't do. The 9 girls looked at them, each with horror on their faces, and soon it was their turn. The first person to be taken out was the most innocent girl among them. In the room, they could clearly hear the numbers rising outside. Soon the girl was taken off the stage and taken to a special room. The second person to be taken away was Ji Miao. When Ji Miao came down from the backstage, he looked at Ren Ren with a slightly anxious look, and that look seemed to have something to say. Ren Ren walked to Tang Qin. "I'm a little scared." Tang Qin patted her hand and said, "Don't be afraid, just bear it and it will pass. They still want to make money from us, and they won't let us die so easily." Ren Ren took Tang Qin to Ji Miao and asked, "Ji Miao, outside." Ji Miao smiled at her and patted her shoulder encouragingly, "Don't be afraid, just treat it as a performance." When her hand was put down, the two of them brushed their arms. Ren Ren remained calm as he clenched a small movement. Ji Miao changed out of her performance costume and put on the exclusive costume requested by the customer, and was then taken away. In a room, several men rushed into the room, controlled Ji Miao, and conducted a full-body search. No. The clothes she had taken off before were also checked, but nothing was found. No, the sinister man frowned. Who did she contact just now? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 343. Number 66 and number 67 had physical contact with no 66. Bring those two here. Boss, they are the ones being auctioned off. Why don't we wait a while? They are here anyway and can't escape, the subordinate suggested. Okay, there's no rush. At this moment, the alarm suddenly sounded and a lot of smoke rolled in. The eyes of the bound Ji Miao flashed with light. What happened? The sinister man was shocked and immediately got up from his chair. There's a fire in the selecting concubine palace. Go put out the fire, go quickly. The sinister man got up and just walked out of the room. He didn't take 2 steps, and his steps suddenly stopped. Something's wrong. How could a fire suddenly break out? He immediately rushed to his office, and just as he walked into the office, he happened to meet the people inside. A gunshot bang opened the battle. Ren Ren was about to be pushed onto the stage, and the whole venue began to riot. Here they come. Ren Ren broke free from the ropes on her body and pushed away the staff who were in a daze. She shouted at the girl who was still in a daze, "Why are you still in a daze? Run away. The police are here to save us." Her shout was not only directed at them, but also at the beasts outside. Only by causing panic among everyone can chaos be created. The more chaotic it is, the safer they are. At the same time, special forces rushed into the underground castle. Every entrance was guarded. Tear gas was dropped into the castle. The choking gas was so strong that anyone in this space could not stop it even if they covered their mouths and noses. Don't move. The guests wearing masks were detained one by one. They hid in a panic, but they were all found by the special forces from the corners. Ren Ren was looking for a place to hide. Suddenly, she felt a bad wind behind her. It was almost an instinctive reaction of her body. She dodged sideways and a bright knife brushed past her. She turned around and saw Ruan Fengru staring at her fiercely with red eyes. "I've finally waited for this moment." She rushed forward again, and Ren Ren kicked her over with his foot, and the knife in his hand fell. Ren Ren stepped forward, kicked the knife away, and rushed forward to subdue her. Just then, several guards from the club came over. Seeing this, Ruan Fengru was overjoyed. "Hurry, Help me catch her. Ren Ran didn't have the confidence to deal with two big and strong men, plus an adult woman. She turned around and ran away. Ruan Fengru got up from the ground and was about to chase, but suddenly she felt a pain in her heart. A knife pierced her body, and the sharp tip of the knife came out of her body. The bright red blood instantly stained her clothes. She looked at the two people in disbelief, as if she couldn't understand why they would kill their own people. Why? One of the men was also her old lover. He patted her cheek gently, leaned over, and whispered in her ear, "The big boss said that your mission has been completed. It's time to reunite with your useless daughter." Ruan Fengru fell down, and her eyes were wide open until she died. Ren ran for a long time. When he ran to the end, he looked back and saw that there was nothing behind him. Where are the people? Did he run very fast and get rid of them in one go? Ren Ran was not confident enough. No one now does not mean safety. Ren Ran turned around to find an entrance and exit. Suddenly, his sight paused and he saw the scene in the house through a gap. She pushed the door open and entered. She saw the rotten air mixed with various aromatherapy smells. There was a round water bed in the middle. A naked woman was hung above it, and her body was covered with various whip marks. The person who was seen yesterday was tortured to death today. There were slap marks on his white face, and the corners of his lips were cracked, oozing scarlet blood. Ren Ran walked forward quickly, looked around, found the switch at the head of the bed, and put Song Yunan down. She put her finger on the tip of her nose, her breath was very weak, and she could die at any time. Ren Ran held her hand tightly and kept encouraging her in her ear, "Song Yunan, hold on, you will be free soon. The police are here to save us." However, her breath was still gradually weakening. She had no desire to live. Ren Ran thought of something and whispered in her ear, "If you die like this, the people who hurt you will be very happy. Only if you get out of here alive can you get revenge and bring her to justice. You don't have to worry about not being able to beat Zhang Ziyu. She is just the adopted daughter of the Zhang family and is now rejected by the Zhang family. Live, only by living can you avenge yourself." Suddenly, Song Yunan opened his eyes and held Ren Ran's hand tightly, "Save me. I will save you." At that moment, Ren Ran's hanging heart finally fell. At the same time, when Shen Jingzi got up, he was stopped by Fu Yan. "Uncle Shen, you are not suitable to be there. Even if he is from the Shen family, once he appears there, those people will not let him go. Even if he can't move now, hiding behind is more terrifying." Shen Jingzi nodded, "I understand. I just want to tell you that there should be more than the 3 entrances and exits you know. They have found 2 entrances and exits, and a hidden secret passage. The secret passage is in the backyard of Bai Xiangju, but Shen Jingzi's intuition tells him that there is more than one exit. He always feels that there is an indescribable weirdness in today's incident. If I were the controller of this organization, I would put the secret passageway farther away from here and not easily noticed." The assistant immediately spread out the map. Shen Jingzi scanned the map, and pointed to that location. "What is this place?" "This is an abandoned public toilet." Shen Jingzi looked at Xiao Yu, "Turn the surveillance over there." Xiao Yu quickly tapped on the keyboard a few times, and then said, "The surveillance there is broken, and it can only be switched to the vicinity of it, about 500 meters away from the public toilet." "Uncle Shen, do you really think this is the exit?" Shen Jingzi calmly analyzed, "Whether from the geographical location or the distance from the incident, it is the most suitable. This is just my guess. Let my people guard it. If we can catch a big fish, it would be the best. If we can't catch it, there will be no loss." Fu Yan thought for a while, "I will send someone over here too. I hope my judgment is wrong." Shen Jingzi's sight returned to Bai Xiangju. 10 minutes later, the person sent over brought news. Fu Yan said happily, "Uncle Shen, you really got it right. We caught 2 big fish. As soon as they came out, they were controlled by our people. One of them almost ran away. Fortunately, your people were quick and crippled his legs. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 344. These 2 people actually brought some confidential documents and USB flash drives with them. Now we can send all these scum to prison. Fu Yan was very happy. This time it was not only a great harvest, but also a crime spot that was destroyed and many people could be saved. Groups of people with neat suits and dog-like looks wearing black cloth bags were brought out. Most of them were thugs who lived here to help the evildoers. When Ren Ran came out with Song Yunan on his back, he happened to meet Ji Miao. The 2 of them helped her out of the underground castle. Doctors and nurses immediately stepped forward and carried Song Yunan into the ambulance. Sister. Luo Li rushed towards Ren Ran and hugged her. You really scared me to death. I'm not okay. Shen Jingzi followed and said, you are really fooling around. What if I am too late to save you? I believe in Dad's ability. Shen Jingzi was angry and funny, tapping her forehead with his finger, don't be so reckless next time. Fu Yan stepped forward and said, Ren Ran, long time no see. Ren Ran looked at him in surprise, looking up and down, have you been promoted? Fu Yan waved his hand, no. We have been assigned temporarily by the superiors. That's pretty awesome, Ren Ran raised a thumbs up. She thought of something, Dad, have you caught Xiangxi Bai? Caught. Fu Yan then added, when we caught him, this guy was practicing sorcery. Evil magic. According to what the Taoist boys said, Mr. Bai is preparing to change people's lives and is letting customers choose their own destiny. In his hand is a thick book with birth dates and horoscopes. Can you show it to me? Fu Yan waved and spoke to the people below. After a while, an old and slightly yellowed book was handed to Ren Ran. Ren Ran started to flip through the pages, and when he reached the end, a person's name jumped into his sight. Time Shadow. The girl I met at the school gate last time had the opposite destiny with Kong Lian. She continued to scroll down and soon saw her name. Ren Ran handed the notebook to Shen Jingzi. Shen Jingzi frowned slightly and looked at Fu Yan, you have to examine Bai Xiangxi carefully. How did he get these birth dates? There must be an industrial chain behind it. These people must be eradicated, otherwise there will be others in the future. How many people suffered? Fu Yan's expression became serious, Uncle Shen, don't worry, I will definitely find out and bring these people to justice. On the top of a tall building, a cold wind howled, and a tall man wearing a black coat stood on the edge. Silver light flashed on the glove of his black hand, which was an exquisite and precious ring. A man wearing a mask walked behind the man and said respectfully, Big boss, Bai Xiangju has been destroyed. All information about us has been eliminated, leaving no trace. The man in black waved his hand, and the masked man left respectfully. A slightly hoarse voice mixed with the wind in the cold wind said, no time. The sound dissipated with the cold wind. Zhang family. After Mrs. Zhang finished exercising, she washed up and when she walked to the table, she saw a document placed on the coffee table. After drying your hair, pick up the files and head to the study. Knocked on the door, no one was in the study. The housekeeper saw it and reminded, Madam, the gentleman in front of me left in a hurry after receiving a phone call. He said that he probably won't come back tonight. Is there something going on at the company? This is not very clear. The gentleman didn't say anything, but there is something wrong with his expression. Mrs. Zhang nodded. She opened the study door directly and put the document on the table. Lifting her feet to go out, she thought of the loan book her best friend asked her to get, and turned around and walked to the bookshelf. The 4 or 5 rows of bookshelves are filled with all kinds of books, both ancient and modern, Chinese and foreign, including not only economics, but also philosophy and classic novels. I remember that the copy was placed at the bottom right of the last row, but why is it missing? Mrs. Zhang squatted down, searched downwards, and found the book in the middle. Who put this book here? Pulling out the book, he stood up. The cuffs of his clothes were caught by a book on the shelf. With a sound, the threads of the fine silk shawl were pulled out. Mrs. Zhang looked at the book suspiciously. Books can also be hooked. She reached out to pick up the book, but when her hand touched it, she clearly felt that the touch was wrong. This is not a book, but is made of other materials to look like a book. She tried to pick it up, but it didn't move. It was firmly embedded in the bookshelf. Although she doesn't come to the study often, she has read many of the books on the shelves. When she first married into the Zhang family, she spent a lot of time here. Many of the decorations in the study were arranged by her herself. She was certain that there was absolutely no such thing before. Mrs. Zhang started tinkering, trying to push, pull, and twist. When the book turned to the right, the entire bookshelf began to move, and a secret room appeared behind it. She squinted at the secret room, hesitated for 2 seconds, and then walked inside. As soon as he stepped into the secret room, the sensor light above lit up, and the 5-square-meter secret room appeared before his eyes. There is a table and a shelf in the room, which are simply furnished. There were documents on the table, and she picked them up casually. They were all documents about the company and the family. She had no interest in this and put it down casually. Mrs. Zhang walked to the shelf. Boxes were neatly arranged in each row. Each box had a label of a different color and no words on it. She picked up the storage box in front of her and opened the contents. They were all documents, which involved a lot of business secrets. Mrs. Zhang opened several boxes in a row. The contents were similar until she picked up the storage box with the red label. There were no more documents, but photos, all of which were photos of young girls and boys. She looked at them one by one, and her pupils shrank when she saw the familiar face. How could he have a photo of Ren Ran here? Ren Ran in the photo was more immature than now. She put the photo aside and pulled out the paper underneath. There were 10 names written on it, including the names of the adopted daughter and Ren Ran. Behind each name, the birth date was written in detail. What was Zhang Bingrong doing with these things? There were countless question marks in her mind. She couldn't figure it out, and her eyes were attracted by the things at the bottom of the box again. After seeing the above content, Mrs. Zhang's pupils slightly widened. This is. Mrs. Zhang took out her mobile phone, took pictures of everything in the box, and put everything back intact. She hurriedly left the study, her heart pounding like thunder. Zhang Bingrong, you are so cruel. An hour later, a black luxury car slowly drove in and stopped steadily at the gate. The housekeeper stepped forward to open the door. Zhang Bingrong walked out of the car. Sir, you are back. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 345. The housekeeper noticed that Zhang Bingrong looked unhappy, and he was startled. He took the coat from him carefully. Zhang Bingrong went upstairs directly, and went to the study instead of the master bedroom. He walked to the last row of the bookshelf and turned the books. He moved the bookshelf away, entered the secret room, opened the drawer, took out a document, placed it in a ceramic basin beside, turned on the lighter, and the flames instantly devoured the paper and burned it to ashes. The flickering flames were reflected in his sharp eyes, flickering, and his face seemed to become distorted. When the flames went out, his expression became calm. Zhang Bingrong leaned on the leather chair, looking tired. When his eyes swept across the bookshelf, he suddenly stopped. He stood up suddenly and strode towards the bookshelf. His fingers gently picked up the box, squinting at the dust on the shelf, which showed signs of movement. Zhang Bingrong looked stern and left the study. Butler. The butler hurried over, and faced the gloomy master. His heart was beating. "Sir, what do you want me to do? Has anyone come to the study after I left? My wife has been there. Where is my wife now? At this time, my wife should be resting." Zhang Bingrong left quickly and opened the door of the master bedroom, but his wife, who should have been resting, was nowhere to be seen. His face became more and more gloomy, and he hurried downstairs and ran into his wife, who came back from outside in her coat. "Where have you been?" Mrs. Zhang was surprised. "What's wrong?" "I couldn't sleep, so I walked in the courtyard." Seeing that his face was not right, she asked with concern, "Did something happen in the company?" Zhang Bingrong stared at her with sharp eyes, observing the subtle expressions on her face, and his expression was normal, without seeing any problems. "Have you been to the study before?" "Yes, I sent you a document, and when I saw you were not there, I put it directly on the table." "Didn't you see it?" "I didn't see it," Zhang Bingrong said casually. "How is it possible?" As she said this, she was about to walk towards the study, but was stopped by Zhang Bingrong. "What happened?" Mrs. Zhang asked. "Something was lost in the study." "What?" Mrs. Zhang was shocked. "The servants in the house have been used for many years. They are very clean and it is impossible for them to steal things. Think about it carefully. Did it fall somewhere?" Her heart was pounding, and sweat was faintly seeping from her clenched palms. "I won't remember it wrong," Zhang Bingrong was sure, staring at her with sharp eyes. Mrs. Zhang thought of something and murmured, "Could it be her?" "Impossible." "Who? Who else has been there?" "Xiao Li. I asked her to go get me to live." Zhang Bingrong looked at the housekeeper. "Call Xiao Li." The housekeeper did not move, and said nervously, "Sir, madam, Xiao Li left half an hour ago. She said that her parents had a car accident and needed to go back immediately, so I agreed to her leave." Seeing that the gentleman looked gloomy, the housekeeper immediately made amends. "It's too late today, I asked Xiao Li to take her to the hospital. Maybe they haven't arrived at the hospital yet. Contact Xiao Li quickly." The housekeeper took out his mobile phone and dialed the driver Xiao Li's number. The phone rang for a long time before it was connected. "Uncle Zhang, what's wrong? Is Xiao Li still in your car?" "She just got off the car not long ago." Zhang Bingrong took the phone from the housekeeper and ordered directly, "Bring Xiao Li back now." Xiao Li responded when he heard that it was the gentleman's voice. 15 minutes later, Xiao Li's phone came in. "How is it?" "Sir, I didn't find Xiao when I went there. I asked the nurses at the nurse station, and they said there were no patients who had car accidents today." Once this news came out, it was undoubtedly confirmed that Xiao was the thief. Mrs. Zhang said angrily, "I really didn't expect that an honest and decent person would do such a thing." "Husband, what exactly is missing?" "An important thing. She must have seen something she shouldn't have seen." "Husband, let's call the police. That thing involves commercial secrets. Calling the police now is tantamount to telling others that we have problems here, which is not good for the group." Zhang Bingrong just took 2 steps and suddenly turned around, staring at Mrs. Zhang with sharp eyes. "Why did you let Xiao go to the study? Such a low-level mistake, you wouldn't have made it before." Mrs. Zhang's heart choked. He really still had some doubts, and it was not so easy to dispel his thoughts. I was taking a bath, and she happened to bring in some fruit, so I asked her to get it. I really didn't expect her to be so bold. She was responsible for counting and keeping my jewelry on weekdays, and she never lost anything." The housekeeper reminded at the right time, "Madam, you'd better go to the room to check your jewelry." Mrs. Jiang's face changed. "I'll go and see." Zhang Bingrong stared at her back with a faint look. Mrs. Zhang sat limply on the rest bench in the room, holding her mobile phone tightly. Time went back to an hour ago. Bai Xiangju, did you find Ruan Fengru in there? As soon as Ren Ran finished asking, several public officials carried a body out. With just one glance, she recognized that the person was Ruan Fengru. She immediately stepped forward to check, and her eyes fell on her chest. Fu Yan squatted down to check. This was attacked from behind, pierced the heart, and killed in one blow. The person who helped carry her out said, when we found her, her eyes were wide open, as if she didn't believe she would be killed. The words were unintentional, but the listeners took it seriously. Ren Ran suddenly remembered the last time she saw Ruan Fengru. If she put herself in that situation. This kind of person has done many evil things, and she was probably killed by a victim. Leave the things here to us. If there is anything later, we will find you. You have been tired these 2 days, go back and rest, Fu Yan said to Ren Ran. Ren Ran nodded. In the luxury car, Ren Ran closed her eyes, thinking about what she had seen and heard in the past 2 days. As she thought about it, she always felt that there was something strange about this matter. Are you worried? Shen Jingzi saw that she was in a bad mood. Ren Ran pondered for a while and said, I don't know why, I always feel that this matter is a bit strange. As for where the strangeness is, I can't figure it out for the moment. Think slowly, don't rush. If you have no clue, you can try to think from someone, follow his/her clues, or think from the source of the place you think is wrong, Shen Jingzi taught slowly. Ren Ran nodded and thought about it. Suddenly, Ren Ran opened her eyes. I know. Shen Jingzi motioned for her to continue. It's too smooth. This matter is too smooth from beginning to end. Since she came into contact with Ruan Fengru, everything was too smooth, and it seemed that many things were logical and natural. The most important thing is Ruan Fengru's death. The police officer's words were like opening Pandora's box, allowing her to see another perspective. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, She Yet. Chapter 346. Thinking back to the last time she met Ruan Fengru, 2 people came to help her. But she left easily and they didn't catch up. Ruan Fengru was killed by a knife, and her last look seemed to tell the world that she didn't expect the murderer to be him or her. Let's make a bold guess. If the murderer was her own, it would be natural for Ruan Fengru to show such an expression. Then, according to this line of thought, why did the other party kill her? This made her think of her encounter with her, and she guessed from this thinking. What if their encounter was not accidental, but inevitable? Once she guessed in this direction, the weirdness of this matter made her feel that something was wrong, and it naturally appeared. Especially when Bai Xiangxi was arrested, he was doing the evil magic of changing lives. This feeling was like telling them on purpose that he was the person they were looking for. Ren Ran told Shen Jingzi his thoughts. The only thing I can't figure out now is how did they know we would stop there and why they wanted to eat grilled cold noodles. This is random. Luo Li proposed it temporarily. It's impossible that Luo Li had been bribed by the other party. Have you ever thought of a possibility that Luo Li was hinted by someone? Hint, Ren Ran was surprised. Luo Li, who had been holding back, finally had the opportunity to speak, or to be more precise, he was allowed to speak. Sister, just before you came out, Dad asked me this question. Why did you suddenly stop the car to eat grilled cold noodles? Then what? Do you remember the makeup artist who put on our makeup? He was a very gentle male makeup artist. When he was putting on my makeup, he kept talking about various things at the banquet. At that time, I thought he was very considerate and listened carefully. Who knew that during this process, he actually kept hinting that there was nothing to eat at the banquet. it was just a social circle, and everyone was hungry. He kept mentioning it repeatedly, and I unconsciously gave a hint. Shen Jingzi said, "It's a psychological hint, very common, but very effective. In the future, you too should cultivate more in this aspect. Once you learn it, you won't be easily fooled." Renran suddenly realized, "Dad, how did you notice it?" If it weren't for Ruan Fengru's death, she might not have thought of the words of the police officer. After all, when everything happens, it is full of various accidents. This kind of accidental nature makes it easy for people to believe that everything they encounter is real, not a trap. Experience. Shen Jingzi calmly uttered 2 words, and seemed to feel that it was too vague and not conducive to educating them, so he added another sentence. Too smooth. Luoli was surprised, "Isn't it good to be too smooth?" Shen Jingzi explained patiently, "The person hiding behind the scenes can do so many things and set up such a big situation. Whether it is means or mind, he is definitely not an ordinary person. If you stand in his position and perspective, will you expose yourself to the public? I have seen Bai Xiangxi and talked to him for a few words. He doesn't have that ability yet. He should be a puppet pushed out by the person behind the scenes. Bai Xiangxi has always made friends with dignitaries, and dignitaries often come and go here, so it is not easy to attract attention. At the same time, this is also a place to absorb and convert customers. It is also the facade of this dark club, a good cover. If I hadn't guessed, the person behind the scenes should have been aware of the investigation by the relevant departments and was ready to abandon this place when he was unable to stop it. It's not his style to give up so easily. He should have other purposes. Their sudden joining and investigation may just bring them along to give them an explanation and let them stop investigating. This wave sent away the relevant departments and also sent them away. But is it just that? Shen Jingzi didn't think it would be so simple. Of course, this may also be his sensitivity, and the other party is simply abandoning the car to save the king. Luoli listened very seriously and was still thinking. Ding dong. The ringing of the mobile phone broke the silence in the car. After a few message alerts, the phone rang. Who is this? Shen Jingzi, it's me. Shen Jingzi heard the familiar but strange voice, "Mrs. Zhang, is there something wrong?" Hearing the other party's alienation, Mrs. Zhang had no time to feel sad, and went straight to the point, "Take a look at the photos I sent you first. This is what I just found in Zhang Binggrong's secret room, which involves you and your daughter." Shen Jingzi exited the interface and checked the information. After only looking at a few photos, Shen Jingzi roughly knew what was going on. When he saw the photo from more than 10 years ago, his eyes narrowed dangerously. "You are in danger now," Shen Jingzi said to Mrs. Zhang. "What should I do?" "Prepare for both hands. Now let someone you absolutely trust go to the study, and then." Renran listened quietly and probably guessed what to do. "My people will pick her up. What you have to do next is..." A few minutes later, the two ended the call. Shen Jingzi handed the phone directly to Renran. After reading it, Renran widened his eyes and looked incredulous. This result was something she had never expected. How could it be him? Luoli also came forward and fell silent after reading it. This turn caught everyone off guard. Shen Jingzi was also surprised. Not only was he surprised that he would build such a dirty place, but he was also surprised that he was betrayed more than a decade ago, and that he was responsible for it. Back then, Zhang Bingrong was the weak boy who followed him and was protected by him. He once swore that he would protect him when he grew up and had the ability. But the result was that when he had the ability, he did not come to protect him, but to harm him. "Dad, is it really him?" Renran asked. "You will know if you try." Shen Jingzi narrowed his eyes, and his deep eyes flashed with a terrifying light. The father and daughter looked at each other and understood each other's doubts. After returning home, Ren relaxed completely and slept soundly. When she woke up, it was already noon. As soon as she woke up, Ren called her to eat. You must be hungry. Come here quickly. Ren came closer and looked, her face fell immediately. Why is there no meat? You haven't eaten well these 2 days, so it's not suitable for you to eat too greasy food. Just porridge and side dishes are the most suitable. Mom, I didn't eat much, I'm not sick, my stomach is very good. I'm so hungry now that I can eat a few cows. Don't talk nonsense, eat quickly. I haven't settled the score with you yet. You dare to do such a dangerous thing without saying a word. What if something happens to you? What do you want your mother to do? Ren gave her a fierce look. Ren didn't dare to talk nonsense anymore, and ate her porridge and side dishes obediently. Just after eating, the mobile phone on the table rang, and the caller was Fu Yan. Student Fu, what's the matter? There shouldn't be any changes over there. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo Yet. Chapter 347. Ren was a little worried. There is a victim. No matter what we ask, she doesn't respond. The other party specifically wants to see you. Who? The 7 people of Tangqin were still Song Yunan. She didn't say her name, but you saved her. Okay, I know. Give me the address. An hour later, Ren arrived at the hospital. This is a separate ward. There are several police officers in the room, counseling the patient. The person on the bed is motionless, like a lifeless rag doll. The people in the room finally reacted a little bit after seeing Ren. Ren said to the police officers in the room, I will talk to her. Okay. The two got up and left the ward. Ren sat beside her. You can tell me anything. Song Yunan raised his eyes and looked at her. You said that Zhang Ziyu was disliked by the Zhang family, but why is she still in the Zhang family? Isn't she an adopted daughter? On the way here, Ren roughly understood the situation. Song Yunan asked a question about Zhang Ziyu after waking up. Later, the police asked her again whether Zhang Ziyu had anything to do with her murder, but she kept silent. No matter how they asked, she just wouldn't say anything. Now seeing her, mentioning Zhang Ziyu again, he vaguely guessed her purpose. You didn't tell them about Zhang Ziyu because you thought I was lying to you. Even if you told the police couldn't bring Zhang Ziyu to justice, right? Song Yunan didn't say anything, but he still knew that she agreed. I'm a member of the Shen family, the Shen family in Kyoto. I can guarantee that as long as you say it, Zhang Ziyu will be brought to justice, and even the Zhang family can't save her. If the mastermind behind the scenes was really Zhang Bingrong, he could give up such a large industry, so how could he be reluctant to give up an adopted daughter? This time Song Yunan finally responded. She shook her head gently. No, I don't want her to stay in prison easily, I just want to see her kicked out of the Zhang family. Staying in prison is too cheap for her. She had checked it out, and even if she told the police, she would only spend a few years in prison. That little punishment, how could it compare to the suffering she had experienced and endured? She didn't want her to be so relaxed, she wanted her to live a life worse than death. Can you help me? A humble plea burst out from those gray, dull eyes. After seeing her miserable condition and everything she had experienced, he still couldn't say the word no. Okay. Thank you. In front of the French window, Zhang Bingrong smiled and talked to someone. I really appreciate your mediation in this matter. I apologize to her on behalf of my useless daughter. Yes, I know. I will definitely satisfy her. I naturally understand the other party's deep sense of justice. Okay. I want to give her some compensation. No? Just one condition. Okay, I will definitely agree. Tell her that if she encounters any trouble in the future, our Zhang family will definitely help her. When the conversation ended, his face suddenly became gloomy. The assistant saw the boss's face and was a little afraid to report. "What's the matter?" Zhang Bingrong asked. The assistant said nervously, "Xiao Li's parents left last night." According to the information provided by their next-door neighbors, the couple left in a hurry after receiving a call from their daughter. Zhang Bingrong had guessed this result a long time ago. The moment she left, she should have thought of the result. "Keep looking." "Okay." Zhang Bingrong picked up his coat and walked out. An hour later, he appeared at home. As soon as he returned home, he saw his little daughter surrounding his wife and helping her. When the two saw him coming back, they put down the grinding tools in their hands. "Husband." "Dad." Zhang Bingrong looked at Zhang Ziyu with a cold look. "Pack up your things and leave here immediately." Zhang Ziyu was stunned. "Dad, where are you sending me?" Zhang Bingrong did not respond, but directly issued a notice. "Today the group will issue a statement to officially terminate the parenting relationship with you. From today on, you are no longer a member of the Zhang family. You are free." "Dad," Zhang Ziyu's voice trembled, and her body seemed to be frozen, staring at her blankly. These few days, even though she was sick, she still tried to please them, asking about their well-being every day. Why did they drive her away? "You are already 19, you are an adult. Our Zhang family has raised you to adulthood, and we have fulfilled all the obligations that should be fulfilled. It's time for you to go out and be self-reliant." "Dad, I don't want to leave, don't drive me away." Zhang Ziyu stepped forward and grabbed his hand tightly. "Dad, did I do something wrong? Tell me, I will definitely change." These days she has been staying at home quietly, not going anywhere, not doing anything. Zhang Bingrong shook him off and said coldly, "You didn't do it well enough, you did too much." He turned to look at the housekeeper, help her pack her luggage. Seeing his firm attitude, Zhang Ziyu could only put her hopes on Mrs. Zhang. "Mom, please beg for me. I don't want to leave." She rushed to Mrs. Zhang and grabbed her arm. Mrs. Zhang pulled her hand away little by little. "Your dad wouldn't do this for no reason. Did you do something again? You are really disappointing." "I didn't." Zhang Ziyu shook her head to deny. She stood in front of Zhang Bingrong, squeezing her neck. "Dad, even if you die, you can at least give me a reason so that I can die clearly." Zhang Bingrong's voice was cold. "Song Yunan." Zhang Ziyu froze in place as if struck by lightning, with fear in his eyes. "The place has been destroyed. I have saved you from jail. The kindness your father had in the past has long been repaid. You can take care of yourself in the days to come." Zhang Bingrong went upstairs without even looking at her. Zhang Ziyu fell to the ground, his eyes empty. "Why didn't she die when we got there? Why haven't you been tortured to death yet?" Zhu Ziqiang clearly said that he would be played to death within 2 years and no bones would be left. But now she was stabbed in the back. Zhu Ziqiang, the man who suffered 1,000 blows, was deceived by him. When Zhang Ziyu saw Mrs. Zhang was about to leave, it was as if she was grabbing the last straw and wanted to pounce on her, but was blocked by the people below. "Mom, can you just give me one more chance, one last chance?" Mrs. Zhang gave her a cold look and followed her upstairs. The housekeeper had already asked people to pack her luggage and put it beside her. "Miss, I'll give it to you." "No, I'm not leaving. This is my home and I'm not going anywhere." "Miss, don't make it difficult for us." The smile on the housekeeper's face faded. Zhang Juyu remained unmoved. The housekeeper winked at the people next to her, and several people came immediately and took her out directly. "What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her." Author, Mo Shi Mo Yet. Chapter 348. Zhang Ziyu sat on the ground in embarrassment. She wanted to go forward, but the housekeeper's words made her look ashamed and annoyed. "Miss, this is the last time I call you miss, don't embarrass yourself." Looking at the slowly closing iron gate, Zhang Ziyu held back the tears in her eyes and didn't let them fall. Her eyes were fixed on the house in the distance, and there was only overwhelming hatred in her heart. "Zhang family, wait for me." She dragged the luggage all the way and finally reached the main road, but there were not many cars. After dragging for several kilometers, she sat down, hugged her knees, and cried loudly. Amid the crying, a car finally stopped. "Miss, are you in trouble?" Zhang Ziyu raised her eyes. "Uncle, can I take your car to the city?" "Sure." The uncle enthusiastically put away her luggage for her, but Zhang Ziyu found something wrong when the car was halfway through. "Let me off the car." "Why get off the car when we haven't reached the destination yet?" She wanted to unbuckle her seat belt and jump out of the car. The driver was dismissive. "I don't think you dare to jump." He deliberately slowed down the car. "I'll give you a chance, do you dare to jump? If not, go home with your brother. Your brother's home is warm, and I promise you will never want to leave." Zhang Ziyu gritted her teeth and jumped out of the moving car. The driver exclaimed, not expecting this woman to be a ruthless person. Zhang Ziyu saw that the car was about to stop. She shouted for help, "Help!" There happened to be a car coming from behind, and the driver spat at her, and then drove away unwillingly. Zhang Ziyu fell to the ground in embarrassment. Her luggage was lost, but fortunately her mobile phone and wallet were still on her. She limped forward and finally found a hotel. When she took out her card, she was told that her bank card was frozen. She didn't believe it, so she changed another card. The result was the same. No matter which card she changed, it couldn't be used. The receptionist's eyes changed when she looked at her. "I'll pay in cash." She opened her wallet and found only a few $100 bills, which were not enough to pay the room fee. Zhang Ziyu called her friends in the circle. "Hello, Xiaojing, it's me, Ziyu. I want to borrow some money from you." The other party sneered. "Miss Zhang has fallen to the point of borrowing money. If you don't have money, ask your parents for it." "Oh, I almost forgot, your parents are not Jiang's father and mother. I have something else to do, so I won't talk to you anymore." Zhang Ziyu's face flushed, and she was so angry that she couldn't speak the whole time. She called her best friend again, and the other party blocked her number directly. At this moment, she seemed to be abandoned by the whole world. She called her eldest brother, but no one answered. She called her second brother, but still no one answered. The receptionist asked politely, "Miss, do you still need to book a room?" Zhang Ziyu ran away after meeting the receptionist's eyes. Finally, she stayed in a cheap hotel. The next day, Zhang Ziyu went to see Wang Jinghua in the detention center. "Daughter, why are you so haggard?" Wang Jinghua asked with concern. "Whether she can get out early depends on this, daughter. Do you still have money?" Wang Jinghua shook her head. "Last time, in order to raise money for you, I have given you all the money I had previously placed in a foreign trust fund. I really have no money on me." "I don't believe it, you must have hidden it. Tell me quickly." "Really not. Do you still want to get out early?" Zhang Ziyu threatened directly. Wang Jinghua noticed something was wrong. "Daughter, has something happened?" "It's okay. Mom, I need money to take care of it for you now. Don't lose the big picture for the small, and only look at the present, not the long-term interests," Zhang Ziyu slowly induced. "Who is Wang Jinghua?" "That's her mother. How can her daughter's little thoughts be hidden from her?" She didn't believe it, really not. No matter what Zhang Ziyu said, Wang Jinghua insisted that she had no money. Zhang Ziyu returned home in defeat. "Hospital. I'll take her out for a while." Ren Ran looked at Fuyan. Fuyan glanced at the people in the ward. "Her neurological state is unstable, You have to pay attention. Yes, I will. Ren gave Song Yunan a mask and a hat, and took her out of the hospital. Where are you taking me? You'll know in a moment. As soon as the two arrived, the manager of the club came forward immediately. Ms. Shen, please come in. The manager personally took the two into the private room on the second floor. The innermost side of the private room was a whole glass wall, and you could clearly see the dance floor downstairs. The manager noticed the two's curiosity about the wall and immediately introduced, "This glass wall is one-way glass, absolutely private. This glass is loved by many special enthusiasts." Yes. Ren brought two chairs and invited her to sit down. Song Yunan was very quiet throughout the whole process, without asking, quietly looking down, with no ripples in his eyes, until a figure appeared. His eyes fluctuated. Ren noticed it, but didn't bother her. She could only take care of her mental illness by herself. All she could do was to make her feel better. Downstairs, Zhang Ziyu was surrounded by several celebrities and rich second generations. Zhang Ziyu looked at Xie Long, who brought her here, with an angry look on her face. Xie Long smiled and said, "Zhang Ziyu, you don't think I still like you, do you?" Before, Xie Long had been pursuing Zhang Ziyu, but Zhang Ziyu didn't care about him at all, but Xie Long never left her. He can be called a qualified licking dog. When she was penniless, Xie Long appeared and arranged food and accommodation for her, which touched her very much. She had decided to follow him and be his wife in the future. Although the Xie family was not as good as the Zhang family or the Shen family, it was still a well-known family in the capital, which was enough for her. But now seeing this situation, she knew that everything he had done before was just a trap to lure her into it. Xie Long told everyone with a smile, "You probably don't know yet. This woman told me on the way here that she was willing to give me a chance and marry me. Ha ha ha, it's ridiculous. She is a wild chicken, but she really thinks she is a phoenix, and she is also pretending to be giving alms." Someone laughed and echoed, "She has been standing on the branch for too long and forgot that she is a wild chicken." As soon as this was said, there were bursts of laughter around. Zhang Ziyu's face flushed, and she wanted to leave, but someone blocked her way. "Get out of the way!" She was so angry that her chest kept rising and falling, but she didn't dare to offend them. Xie Long walked up to her, "Zhang Ziyu, you can leave if you want, but pay me back the money you owe me these days." "What money?" "It's for food and drink these days. It's not much, a total of 468,560 yuan. After all, the cost of a suite in a 5-star hotel for one night is not cheap." "You invited me." "When did I say that?" "I just said that I would advance the money for you first." "Who are you, and why should I pay for you?" "You." She knew he was being a rogue, but she couldn't do anything about it. A socialite who had been bullied by Zhang Ziyu before said, "It seems that Miss Zhang has no money. I'll find you a way to make money." As she said that, the socialite raised her legs. "Climb over here and I'll give you 100,000. Warm TI. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her. Author, Mo She Mo Yet. Chapter 349. Climb. That's 100,000. Climb 5 times and you'll still make some money. Someone pushed. Zhang Ziyu was so angry that her face turned blue. "Don't go too far." "Too far," the socialite sneered, "didn't you play this game often before? How come it's too far when it's your turn?" She walked up, grabbed Zhang Ziyu's hair, and said viciously, "You have to climb today even if you don't want to." Zhang Ziyu struggled, and her elbow accidentally knocked over a cup beside her, spilling the wine in the cup and splashing all over Xie Long. Xia Long looked gloomy. You've stained my clothes. Compensation will be an additional 100,000. You. What if I don't climb? The socialite looked at several other friends. Old rules. Zhang Xiao's face changed slightly when she heard the three words old rules. I'll climb. Hearing her compromise, everyone started to make a noise. Someone took out his phone to take a photo, but Xia Long knocked it away. You are stupid, leave evidence for yourself. Other people who wanted to use their phones to record gave up. Zhang Ji knelt down with tears of humiliation, crawled forward step by step, and the tears in her eyes could no longer be controlled. When she crawled under his crotch, her spine was completely bent. Ha ha ha, Miss Zhang crawls differently from others. Climb again. After crawling for 2 rounds, someone started to make trouble again. Xia Long said, you don't have to pay the 100,000 yuan today, as long as you lick the wine on our feet. You. Zhang Xiao was so angry that his face turned blue. Xia Long, don't go too far. Too much. When she chased her before, she said she wanted a cake from the store outside the 4th Ring Road. He ran for several hours to buy it back, and this woman threw it on the ground and said directly that she didn't want to eat it. Trampling on other people's sincerity under his feet. Today, he just wanted to humiliate this woman severely. The people around shouted in unison, it's not excessive, it's a reasonable request. Lick it. Everyone sat on the sofa like an old man, lifting their legs. Some people even poured wine on their shoes blatantly and joined in. Zhang Xiao looked around, there was no outsider. She knew that she could only suffer this loss today, otherwise she would not be able to leave here. Zhang Xiao's resentful eyes swept over the people present. Pa! A loud slap sounded. What are you looking at? Do you want revenge? You are dreaming. The Zhang family has already published an announcement to sever ties with you. You will never be able to fly up to the branch again. Lick it. Zhang Xiao was unmoved. A boy grabbed her hair directly, dragged her, and pressed her head on Xia Long's shoe surface. Seeing this, Ren Ren retracted his gaze and turned his head to look at Song Yunan. His expression was calm, but he just looked at the gray and unclear light in Zhang Xiao's eyes. I want to go down, Song Yunan suddenly spoke. Ren Ren was a little worried that she had finally come out of hell, but because of irrational behavior, she would be sent to prison. Before Ren Ren spoke, Song Yunan spoke first. She seemed to know what she was worried about. Don't worry. Even if everyone wants her to die, I don't want her to die. I only want her to live for a long time. Death is only a moment of pain. But living is always painful. So, she wants Zhang Xiao to live forever. Ren Ren sighed, she called the manager, and gave him a few instructions in his ear. The manager nodded and left. People soon appeared on the 1st floor, and Xia Long looked up at the location of the box on the 2nd floor in surprise, although they couldn't see it. After a while, the manager made an OK gesture in the direction of Ren Ren. Let's go. Song Yunan went downstairs wearing a mask. At this time, Zhang Xiao looked embarrassed, with wine all over his face and messy hair. He was as embarrassed as he could be. When Zhang Xiao saw Ren Ren and the other two, she ignored Song Yunan beside her and stared at her. It's you asked them to do this, right? She said. Why did Xia Long and his men dare to treat her like this? It turned out that this bitch was behind it. Looking at the other party's cannibalistic eyes, Ren Ren raised her eyebrows slightly. If thinking so makes you feel better, you can do whatever you want. Xia Long kicked Zhang Xiao in the back. Stupid. This is the bureau I set up. He didn't dare to let the eldest daughter of the Shen family take the blame for him. Song Yunan walked forward and squatted down. Zhang Xiao noticed her at this moment. She was confused for a moment, but soon recognized the owner of these eyes, and her pupils suddenly widened. You, Song Yunan. I'm not dead, Are you disappointed? What do you want to do? Zhang Xiao's voice trembled. She leaned over, leaned close to her ear, and whispered, "From now on, I'll be the hunter and you'll be the prey." Zhang Xiao sneered, "You're a slut who can sleep with anyone, and you still want to be a hunter, you." Song Yunan picked up the wine bottle beside him and stuffed it into her mouth. The force was so great that it tore her mouth apart. Zhang Xiao struggled to resist. Song Yunan ordered directly, "What are you doing? Hold her down." Xie Long and others immediately stepped forward to help and held her down. She had stuffed the bottle into her mouth, but she didn't stop, as if she was going to use force to stuff the entire bottle into her stomach. Zhang Xiao struggled in pain, her body trembling with pain. Woo woo woo. Song Yunan looked at her struggle indifferently, and her hands didn't stop moving at all. Painful. But she walked through it step by step. She had seen many girls die in such perverted methods there, and even died in more perverted ways than this. Xie Long and the others were a little shocked by her crazy behavior, and even Ren Ran was a little surprised, but it was only for a moment, and she was relieved soon. She had seen the scene there, so it was not difficult to understand her behavior. After all, they had endured 100 times more pain than this. Seeing that Zhang Xiao was about to suffocate, Ren Ran was about to speak, and Song Yunan stopped stuffing in. Under the stunned gazes of the crowd, she pulled out the bottle with the fastest, most ruthless and fiercest move, and pulled out several teeth. Along with the sound of the bottle breaking, Zhang Xiao screamed miserably, and blood flowed from the corners of her lips. At this moment, Zhang Xiao's eyes changed when she looked at Song Yunan, and there was more fear in her eyes. Xie Long and the others were also shocked, and the eyes they looked at her also changed. At this moment, Ren Ran's cell phone rang. She glanced at the incoming call, told the manager to keep an eye on it, and went outside to answer the phone. "Miss, where are you now? Taoist Tegzu has made a major discovery. What should I do if someone takes away my fate? I will just kill her." Author, Mo Shi Mo Yet. Chapter 350. I will be right back. Ren Ran called Song Lian and asked him to send someone to pick up Song Yunan. When he returned to the club, he gave instructions to the manager and also reminded Xie Long. Xie Long patted his chest and assured, "Don't worry, no one will be killed. I will take good care of your friend." Ren Ran left in a hurry. As soon as they returned to their base camp, they saw Taoist Tegzu and his father here. When everyone saw her coming, they started to get down to business. "Now that everyone is here, Taoist Master, tell me what you found," Su Zaiyan asked impatiently. There was no need for Taoist Master Tegzu to speak. Qingxian explained the matter for the master. "Show Master the photos of the 10 people's birthdays and horoscopes. 5 people have extremely bad fates, and 5 people have excellent fates. There are a total of 5 pairs of people who have exchanged fates. They know all this. Shi and Zhang Xiao, Kong Lian, and Shi Ying." After that, 3 more pairs were added, including Song Yunan. You probably haven't noticed that these 5 pairs of people who swapped their fates correspond to the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Master noticed something was wrong when he got the birthdays and horoscopes of 5 pairs of people. This was not as simple as simply changing their fortunes. In the past few days, Master has been searching ancient books and asking other masters and uncles, and finally got it clue. Look. Qingxian took out a pile of things from his bag and put them on the table. Ren Ran picked up a part and saw various runes engraved on it. After looking at it for a long time, I didn't understand what it was. Others also looked at the things in their hands, all confused. Everyone looked at Qingxian. Song Lian said, "Just tell us directly what it is. If you are not a professional, you really can't understand these things." Qingxian originally wanted to explain these exquisite Taoist techniques and formations to them, but seeing that everyone just wanted to know the answer, he could only silently put away his desire to popularize science. Master found from ancient books and gathered 5 pairs of 5 elements fortunes to run the laws of heaven and earth, steal the sky and change the sun, and steal people's luck to achieve the purpose of prolonging life. To put it simply, the 10 people on the list are all tool people. The 5 people with excellent fortunes will have their last luck extracted when the formation is completed and transferred to the other 5 people. These 5 people are actually containers that temporarily store their luck. The formation will be used at the last moment. There will be a sudden change of luck, and the luck will be extracted from those 5 people and transferred to the real person. The 5 containers that previously carried luck ended up being punished by God. After everyone heard this, they were all dumbfounded. I bet all 10 of them are just tools. 5 people with excellent destiny are fruits. The 5 people with extremely bad fates are the plates holding the fruit. Finally, someone else enjoys the fruits. 5 people with good fortunes died unexpectedly because their luck was taken away from them. The 5 people with bad fates will enjoy their stolen lives for a short period of time, and after being exploited, they will be abandoned and become a shield for being punished by God. The culprit enjoys the consequences. I have to say that this move is really clever. Qingxian then continued, do you still remember the book that collected fortunes from Bai Xiangxi? Remember, Song Lian said. Master suspects that the people behind the scenes may not just use the 10 of them. Maybe there are alternatives. Shen Jingzi nodded in agreement. Based on the other party's caution, there should be more than just these people. Accidents are beyond the control of anyone. The way to deal with the unexpected is to make more preparations. The people behind the scenes certainly do. This meant that even if Ren Ran, Zhang Ziyu, Shi Ying and Kong Lian were destroyed, he could still continue to act according to his plan. Taoist Taixu, who had been silent for the whole time, said, the fates of these people in the photo are the perfect will of 5 elements. It would be difficult for that person to find a fate like Ren Ran's. The substitutes are inferior, but the effect is not good, it's a few points worse. Su Zaiyin asked, Taoist master, the person behind the scenes is so powerful, why didn't he take action himself, cause trouble for the eldest lady and the others, and directly handle the matter for Kong Lian and the others? If the people behind the scenes had taken action, the current situation might not be so good. I'm afraid Ren Ran won't be able to hold on to Kyoto, and he won't be able to hold on now. Taoist Master Taixu only said 2 words, cause and effect. In short, the other party cannot be directly contaminated with cause and effect. Once contaminated with cause and effect, he cannot avoid divine punishment. Then everything he does is in vain. This is why they never saw him take action from beginning to end. The people who did it were all other people and had nothing to do with him. Bai Xiangxi deceived Kong Lian and the 5 people and turned Kong Lian and others into thugs. So what method did the other party use to deceive Xiangxi Bai? Ren Ran looked at Shen Jingzi, Dad, is there any breakthrough on Xiangxi Bai's side? According to Mr. Bai's account, he has been working for a person codenamed J, using theology to make a name for himself in the rich circle and attract customers. This is his daily activity. As for changing his life, it is a project he does alone. To make extra money. I still believe the first words, but I still don't believe the last words. Shen Jingzi knew what she was going to ask and answered her questions directly. I have used various instruments and invited various experts to confirm that he has no trace of lying. Assuming that Bai Xiangxi did not lie, it can only mean that the person codenamed J is very powerful, and he used the other party without showing any emotion, and he did not let him notice it. This feels like being sold out, but still obediently counting money for others. It shows that the person's means are very clever. Taoist Taixu said, that person's time is running out. Qingxian immediately added, in order to let everyone understand the deeper meaning of the master, the person behind the scenes originally had some time to live, and it would not be so easy, but the last time when the master cut off the fate line for Ren Ran, although the master was injured, the other party would only be more seriously injured than the master, which is worse for that person. He does not have so much time to wait. Gao Ying said, in other words, the person behind the scenes will definitely take action in the near future. Yes. Ren Ran and Shen Jingzi looked at each other, and each of them had the answer in their hearts. The group of people discussed for nearly 2 hours. They knew what they should know and analyzed what they should analyze, but no one could figure out who the person behind the scenes was. Looking at the whole scene, it feels like there is an invisible big hand behind the scenes, controlling everyone. These big hands are very mysterious. Taoist Tegzu glanced at the time. I should go back. As Taoist Tegzu left, this meeting also ended. Ren Ran followed Shen Jingzi and left, returning to the Shen family's old house together. On the way back, the father and daughter started discussing again. Dad, I have an immature guess. Tell me about it.